Scott, what do you think of the defensive structure? I know you didn't love how it was in Vancouver, much tighter from your group today.
I liked the start of our game until after our power play was over, and then the last 12 minutes of the first wasn't real good, but thought we took the game back over in the second and the third. Played a lot faster, closed a lot quicker, did a lot more of what we needed to do, and it was a really good third for sure.
What was the explanation that you got on the coach's channel?
It's tricky because when it gets to that point, the camera, the video that we have, it looks offside. But when you touch the next frame, or go back one frame forward, it's amazing how close it is. And obviously, once they started to look at it that long, then we figured that it wasn't going to be a goal. But I mean, it was going to be a goal. But it really, honestly, we thought 100%, that it was offside. But it just comes down. That one honestly was sort of you've seen them lots where sort of the frame of it, and then maybe is this because there was a blade in the air, and was it how far was it? Was it all the way over? Was the puck all the way over? So it was tight. We would have made that call. I would have made that call 100 again. So.
And how would you describe the Perfetti goal?
Well, yeah, pretty impressive. I'm not sure if that defenseman was ready, expecting him to do that, and then the next part he makes a great move, but then that was a heck of a shot.
With the been a couple games of these new forward lines, the Lowry line looks a bit different to the Nemesnikov line. What have you liked about the different elements that your middle six has given you over these last couple games?
Yeah, the big thing we've talked about with Lau's line is, with him and Apple and Ehlers, is that they are still facing the other team's, top line. They saw an awful lot of Suter tonight. I thought Apple and those guys, I thought they and Lau, and I thought they were real good in the sense of how physical they were. I thought Lau was real good. He's getting so many chances around that net front. I know he hasn't scored in a while, but he's doing all the right things. And Fly gives him some speed on there. But with Vladdy's line, like I mentioned you guys last week, there it gives there's two real skill with. Again, it's two skilled guys, and no disrespect to Nino's skill, but it's also another big body that goes to hard places, and I think that we're kind of getting that out of guys again. That's part of the identity of Nino when he plays that way. He's real effective.
Just one more for me. Seeing Mason Appleton get another goal there. Obviously, there was a bit of a stretch where he wasn't scoring much, 2 goals in his last couple of games or whatnot. What's it like to see a guy like him reward on the score sheet when a lot of his efforts maybe aren't always showing up there?
Yeah, I mean they do a lot of the grunt work, and it's hard. Those guys are grinders, and they have to play against the other team's top line, and their first job and their first responsibility is make sure the other team's top guys don't score. And when you can get bonus goals like they did tonight, that's big, and that was against their first line. And I did like the fact that how we scored it, because that is playoff style hockey. Those ones where you got to go in, and Lau was in there hacking and whacking first, and then obviously Apple cleaned it up. But he's been consistent for us, and I know the pucks weren't going in, and every player goes through it. You go through a stretch. Some guys, elite guys, maybe don't go through it as long, but at the end of the day, you stick to what you're good at and the details of your game, and like that, you'll come out on the right end of it.
There is a moment where Niederreiter got a high deflection for Demko. Then there's quite a bit of a scrum there. It looked like Cole Perfetti was at the center of it, but some guys could have stepped in and made sure he wasn't, at risk there. What did you see on that particular play?
That was a great tip. Start, obviously. I'm not sure what I kind of have an idea. Vladdy kind of started everything. Again, but in a way, it just is some pushing and shoving, but that's our group. We've stuck together, and we've had a lot of those challenges. Whether they're challenge, our top players, or they're challenging our tough guys, whatever. Our guys have done a good job of sticking together, and that's something that we've been preaching for the last few years. Is that that we're everybody on the ice is sticking together every chance we get.
I think back comparing almost this time of year to last year, you finished with 8 wins. And some of the under-the-hood numbers are maybe even better with this team than that one in terms of the control of play and things like that. Do you feel like this is a level perhaps even above that?
We've been playing at a pretty high level just for 74 games, in my opinion. We've done a really good job of staying away from the low lows. And I think that the way we've just been able to focus and, you know, put a game behind us and move forward to the next one. You know, last year there was a little bit more, you know, there were some tough games, some tough stretches, and obviously we finished on a high note. But I just think this is a good hockey team that knows how to play night in, night out, and they know when we're successful because when we play the way we have to play. I don't know if it's any different. You may have those analytics or those stats or whatever. I just think that we're a very confident group, and we really, from game one of the season to where we are today, that when we play at our best, we're a tough team to play against.
We've asked you about him a bunch because he's been playing well in a lot of ways, but a year ago, Cole Perfetti wasn't an everyday player for you guys, and now he's doing that. He's on quite a stretch here. Is there any one thing, it's tough, but that you can point at in his year-over-year step that makes him who he is now?
I think we have talked about him, is that his mental part of it, that he recognizes that he's going to have highs and lows, he's going to have slumps, he's going to be in situations where he's having a bad game or a bad shift or a bad period, and he's been able to get himself out of it this year faster than he's ever been able to. And I think that he's still a young kid. For his first 2 years, he didn't play very. I mean, in the second half of the year, he never played when the games got, you know, and those last 20, 25 games, 30 games when it's the highest, most pressured situation. He never got to play in those games. And last year was a good 82 games, and he built. I know what happened in the playoffs, he didn't get to play, but at the end of the day, this year, he's been able to really take all those situations and been able to learn from them, grow from them, and help him not to get in sort of situations where he gets himself down or he is his own worst enemy. I think that's probably the area the most, is his maturity mentally has been really strong.
Scott, you guys sold out all 4 home games on this homestand, 5 in a row going back to Dallas. Is there a point of pride just as a team? Like you can almost feel the correlation between maybe the fans really buying into what you guys are doing and you're kind of seeing it in terms of the environment in the rink?
Yeah, I obviously want that every night. I know that you know, sometimes you have to earn it as well, and I just think that the one thing about the building, whether it's to capacity or not, we've been in it. We've been doing a good job of entertaining them, and it's been reciprocated back the other way. It's loud. It is really loud. You get down to the ice level, not just this 4-game stretch. They've been great for us all year long, and obviously winning certainly helps that. But it's a loud building, and we'd like that to continue.
Just one final housekeeping one, because I'm not sure if you're off or having an avail tomorrow.
Yeah,
but
we're meeting at the airplane tomorrow.
Okay.
Sorry, Brownie, you're done. I got you.
Eric, did baby arrive yet for Eric, or
Not
still
yet,
on?
no,
Okay.
not yet.
Is the plan though that he will accompany you?
We still have a day.
Right.
Here, so we'll
And
see.
Would you consider, like, I'm not sure of Rasmus's status, so would you maybe be
Yeah,
considering
Rasmus is
calling a forward up?
Rasmus is kind of back in protocol here, so he won't be coming with us on a road trip.
So you probably want to get an extra forward just to bring with you? I'm not volunteering, by the way.
We are sort of making sure before we leave tomorrow they're on that airplane, and we're going to make sure, because it's a 3-game road trip, that we have enough bodies.
Sorry,
Yeah.
just quickly on 5-on-3, what stood out to you?
What do you mean, what's it out?
No, I
We didn't score.
I-
Yeah, there was a couple looks. There's a couple that we just missed. We had some wide. I mean, that seam play to Scheif, it was a hot one. Al had a great look. Fly had a real good chance, and we never got the shots off. It was just sort of buck short and a day late on it. Thanks.